had a couple of people who have tweeted saying if there's any room in the show for the commissioner of the NBA's announcement that the one and done is basically done, unofficially done. Adam Silver talked about this, and we've been talking about this for a long time, and that is if you're coming out of high school, you should be able to go into the NBA. If somebody wants you, you're going to take a chance, great. I'd rather have that than to have the charade that we have that's one and done. Because these kids are going to college because they have to go to college. They don't want to be going to college. They're majoring in basketball. We do not care about any other sport when it comes to this. But we're so possessive of March Madness that these kids, how dare they ruin my March Madness if the great players don't go into college basketball? They don't want to be there. But the commissioner is saying that, he can see that this is happening sooner than later, and rightfully so. He's already reached out to the teams to say by 2020 or 2021 that he thinks that this is going to be done. But he made it clear on Tuesday, growing support for a change that would allow players to come into the league at the age of 18 rather than require them to play 1 year college basketball or internationally. Such a move would have to be collectively bargained with the National Basketball Players Association. But the commissioner's tone on the topic was the strongest sign yet. It's only a matter of time. Yeah, I'm fine with it. Now, what I would love is if there's a safety net when they come in at 18, if they don't make the roster. Let's say you get drafted, and that's another thing. A lot of these teams are going to draft somebody at 18. You may not see their benefits until they're 21, and then they may be leaving you by 21 or 22. The player that comes to mind was Jermaine O'Neal when he was drafted by Portland, but didn't become a very good player until leaving Portland. And I think that that's where it's unfair to the team taking a chance on you at 18, but then they don't get your full benefits because chances are you could be leaving, and then that team gets nothing there. But if you're 18 and take a chance, but if you don't make the roster, maybe this is where the G League gets a little fuller, more developed, more attention, better players, and then you have a minor league system where you can bring kids up or send them back down. That would be the one caveat to this. If you're 18 and you're ready to play and there's an NBA team that's interested in you, then great. Now, let's say you declare for the draft, but you don't hire an agent. Can you go back into the hopper and go and play college basketball? Those are the things that I'd be curious about. Because if you're not going to be drafted, because what happens, these kids, by the time they're 12, are told, man, you're going to make it to the association. And, then they major in basketball. They're not interested in being students. That this is what they're going to do. This is what they want to do. This is what they've been programmed to do. And I just don't know if you can say, let's try to have both. And that's what college and the pros have tried to have. Hey, just come for 1 year, okay? Let us put you on display for 1 year, and then you can go into the pros. Like, why? We want to make sure that, they're ready to be able to go into the NBA. That 1 year of college is going to help them go into the NBA. Okay. Some kids, yes. But there are kids that could come out and play right away. And I think we're being unfair to them, whereas in other sports, we don't care if, you're a soccer player at 12 and you go into an academy. Nobody's going, oh, my God, what's going to happen to that kid? Or tennis. Nobody cares. High school baseball. Hockey, nobody cares. Whatever happened to, that number one pitcher from TCU or Rice? Nobody cares. But, oh, my God, do not ruin my March Madness here. We want the best players. Yeah, Paul.
Do you think that if the NBA allows high school kids to come into the NBA next year for the 2019 draft, they'll also initiate a rule with college basketball that if you go to college basketball, you have to stay 2 or 3 years, or just leave when you want?
I don't know how they're going to. I would love for you to have 2 years because then you have to go to class. Then you're not making a mockery of higher education. And I think that would be the key for me. If you're going to college, at least experience 2 years. You're signing up to experience 2 years. But if you want to come out and you have no interest in college basketball, then great. But it's a charade here. And you're going to have money that is exchanging hands when you have a kid who's going to be one and done. It's just plain and simple, folks, that this is what is happening. Now, it may not be from a booster to a player. It may not be from, an agent through somebody to a player or the family, but there's money that exchanges hands here. And now I think more than ever, if I can get you 1 year, the difference that a kid can make or two kids can make on a team is enormous. And the amount of money that you're going to be able to make. And, further along you go in the tournament here, why wouldn't you say, here's $100,000? I mean, if the kid at Louisville is getting 100 large and you hadn't even heard of him, like, what do you think is being offered to some of these other kids? So let's just take the charade out of here. If you want to play in college, then it's this. The NBA will not accept you after 1 year. You have to stay 2 years. Or, some other modification with that. But if you want to come out of high school and you think you can play and somebody's going to draft you, then great. If you don't make it, you don't make it. You won't be the first. You won't be the last. And, nobody's going to care. But that would be what I would love to see. But it's not going to happen this next year. I think in 2020, we're going to have the one and done is officially done. And I'm fine with that.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.